So glad to have you here, Alfred.
Mhm.
So how's your trading been going as a whole, FY? So I saw you did mention that you've been trading for some time, but you're not consistent. I think is what you
Yes,
mentioned.
not consistent. Yeah. I think it may be something. Yeah, because I'm currently truck driving now, so I'm not that consistent because of that too. I did fly to Africa, and I was there for 3 months, and I was doing coaching with Coach Robin Jones. She was awesome. She was awesome, but I had to
You
cut it
flew there
short
in
because of
person
some.
to meet her or whatever?
Oh no. I'm from South Sudan, and my family's in Africa. So
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
uh, yeah, so I had to. I went there to visit, and so and I ended up coming back, and I had to get to work, and it's been interfering with my trading. But I've been doing a lot of practice, and practicing with 1, 2 contracts here and there, but have not been consistent. Yeah.
What do you think is you personally? What do you think is the reason why you haven't been consistent though? Especially if you've been doing it for some time, right? I mean, I would imagine, especially after you do the trade, you'll see the
Hmm.
hindsight being 2020. But
Hmm.
what do you see in that hindsight?
I'm thinking maybe it's just maybe lack of practice on my end, um, and just just not being able to read the market.
In real
Um,
time, essentially.
yeah, in real time.
Well,
That's
you
one.
practice every. Do you practice every day? I'm assuming, but just not long enough.
No, not every day. I'm on the road, so it's kind of tough to practice every day. Probably like 3 times a week. So.
Well, I don't want to get too nitty gritty of the
Hmm.
hours, right? But I mean, how many hours do you drive on a regular basis, on a daily
Eight
basis? Excuse
hours.
me.
8 hours a day. 8 hours.
Oh, okay, so it's almost like a standard job then, from a like kind of people go into the office 8 hours, etc., and then
Yeah.
kind of come back out.
Yeah, 8 hours
So,
is what you drive, but on duty there's extra, so it's maybe 10, 11 hours a day in total, but 8 hours driving. Yeah.
okay, and then you come home. Do you just come home and you do apps? So do you not have a spouse, family, etc.?
My wife and my son, they're in Africa at the moment,
Okay, okay.
and I'm in, I'm over the road, so I'm in a truck. So.
But whenever so I'm just trying to break it all down, right? Hours wise.
Yeah.
So if you're driving 8 hours and let's just say an hour, 2 hours of,
Hmm.
the other activities, and then you come home to your family, being your wife and children and
Hmm.
anyone else essentially. Um, do you had like absolutely not spent not even a minute with them?
They're overseas. I'm in the U.S. at the
Oh, that's
moment,
right. You
and
did
they're
mention that.
overseas.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, they're overseas. So.
So when you
Uh,
come home, do you just knock out? It's only work when you're awake and then sleep
yeah. Hmm.
elsewise?
Yeah, and then I do some reading. I'm currently reading, book on volume, Anna Cooling's volume price analysis book, and just a little bit of on demand. I do the whole day, and then I just kind of try to read the market on my own, like read what's going on, volume, and yeah, I try to do that consistently.
Mm.
So
Well,
yeah.
I mean, there's only two things here, right? And I'll just
Hmm.
be almost as blunt as possible, I guess, because what I was trying to get to is that do you have 30 minutes a day, right? It's like if you have 30 minutes to either watch TV, which is you relaxing, or
Hmm.
talk to the family on the phone, or FaceTime on the phone, or something like that, right? Like something usually kind of has to be cut out. But
Yeah.
if we'll just take, and I won't even dig further on that. If we just take your word as is, that it's literally I work, I come home, read for 10 minutes, I just knock out, right? If it's realistically that grueling, then the
I could
outcome
do
the
I could do
outcome I'm
30
just, I'm
minutes.
just saying to continue it on. The outcome is potentially to say that there should be almost no point of you trading because you'll never be able to catch up trading wise to get
Hmm.
better, or really any side hustle realistically to get money than your
Right.
job because it's so much, so it's
Right.
like either you have to find the time realistically to actually do the practice daily for 15 to 20 to 30 minutes, or it's leave your job and go do a different job.
Yeah.
It's literally the only two options,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but I mean, it's just real life,
Gotcha.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What I'm doing now is just kind of raising the capital and just head back home. to Africa and then kind of trade for 6 months. I'm trying to give myself 6 months to a year of just you know trading. So that's but I do have 30 minutes a day. I can actually do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. You have. So why haven't you been doing that in the first place? 30 minutes a day.
Um, yes. Well, yeah. Just my mind is just all over the place with family issues. So, but um, but I'll definitely do it daily. Sure.
Well, I guess what's interesting, right, is that so how do I phrase this the correct way? So the obvious answer is the answer typically, right, of the whole practice piece. But I
Yeah.
think the fact that you called it out initially shows proof that you knew that deep down. So
Yeah.
if you're saying if you called out initially, bear with me, if you called out initially that practice is the reason I'm not ahead, and then we went through this kind of cycle discussion and came out to the outcome of okay, practice is the issue, practice is the way to get out. But I think you've been trading for a couple years now. I don't even know, and this is weird that I'm going this way. I never go this way, but I'd be surprised if you actually do practice, man. Because like it's are you satisfied with the job you're doing?
Um, no, I mean
Because you
that's
knew
what I'm
the
trying to
answer,
do.
right? Because you knew the answer why you're not successful, but you still
Yeah.
just said fuck it anyway. You see
Yeah.
where I'm getting at? Like it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
That's yeah. Definitely. I do see where you're coming from.
Yeah. And we haven't even gotten to trading. I mean, this just sounds like pure just logical. I mean, and it's not your fault, honestly. I think it's a lot of people just don't take the step backwards, or excuse me, take the step back to kind of think
Hmm.
about what they should be doing in life for to get whatever the goal is. It's kind of just one foot in front of the other. You know, it's like, well,
Yeah.
the next day I'm going to work 8, 10 hours. Sounds horrible as hell, but I'm getting the money kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then but then it's like, and that's fine and dandy, and everyone looks at you and says like, you're the man for doing it. But then that ends up being the exact person that, and I don't know how old you are, but whenever you end up being 75 and you look back and you're like, shit, I've been on the road for 40 plus years doing the same thing, but I knew the answer, but I just never did anything.
Oh, yeah.
And it happens on accident, but life goes by quick.
It definitely does. Definitely does.
So if I were you, and I don't know your full situation,
Hmm.
I'd definitely write out, as crazy as this sounds, people don't do this, I know, so I'm sound like a crazy person. Write out a plan that you actually realistically kind of want to have life wise that's in 3 month intervals. And it could be potentially something very basic of next 3 months, 4 months, excuse me, four quarters in a year. So the next 3 months, I'm only focused on working. I'm putting X amount of money over. The next 3 months after that, I'm practicing every day for 10 minutes. The next 3 months after that, you know what? I'm gonna start doing a bunch more live trades. I think I can probably do 3 a week with that extra money I have. The
Hmm.
next month after that, I got to go back in a different cycle. I got to go back to work. And then the next 3 months after that, like just keep doing like this piece here, which sounds like it still will be a long-term piece, but I mean, I'm only doing it this way because you said you need money, right?
Hmm.
So, but if there's a plan, then that way you don't accidentally become the 75-year-old truck driver
Hmm. Hello. Hello.
drinking too much because they. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you.
But you don't want to become the accidental truck driver that ends up being 75 years old, still driving trucks, trying to make ends meet, and hates the world because he's the truck driver still, and he sees this 30-year-old, 20-year-old making all this money. So you got to make plans. You got to stick to them. But if you don't make a plan, you're not going to go anywhere.
Got. I got. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So your trading might be fine. I mean, you see my strategies relatively
Yes,
very simplistic, right?
it is. It is, and
Yeah,
your YouTube videos have been very helpful too. Just yeah, it's yeah, you're very very helpful with that. So
I'm glad. I really
yeah,
appreciate that. But now it's all in your court, man. I don't even know if I want to look at your trades. I can if you want me to, but I don't even know if I need to. I think it's just a matter of actually practicing. You know what? Here's what I would love to do. I
Mhm.
think figure out your plan, kind of based
Mhm.
off of however you want to, or maybe how I suggested earlier.
Mhm.
Um, and then months from now, weeks from now, whenever you think it might make sense, shoot me a DM after you've done a lot of practicing, and then it would make sense for us to kind of review trades and
Gotcha.
stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I actually like that idea. That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. So in the next 3 months, because I will be in Africa maybe in 3 months, and I'll have like a few months to just trade. So, yeah,
Okay.
that sounds like a plan, and I'll shoot you a message. Yeah, just don't forget me.
No, I'm not gonna forget you. I'll still be here.
So
I've scaled the business and yeah, I've scaled the business down back enough to where it's just existing now. We're getting a few students here and there,
yeah,
and I'm just enjoying it myself. So we're not going
yeah,
anywhere. I can float it by with the little money I make here and there.
yeah, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and I'm also part of the Investor Academy too. So I just wanted to get the day
Okay.
trading down, and then just move to the swing trading, fully focus on that. So,
Oh, that'd be
but
good.
yeah.
Well, and then I'll say one thing before we do drop off, and you can
Hmm.
ask anything towards the end as the last wrap up.
Hmm.
Um, if you the more you want, I'll say it anyway. The more you understand swing trading,
Hmm.
the easier day trading already is going to become. FYI,
Hmm. Okay. So.
because you kind of have to. And I'm not saying to prioritize swing trading because you need to understand day trading to realistically get better at swing trading anyway.
Hmm. Yeah.
But you have to kind of think about it. Even from a lot of people have FOMO. Like some people mentioned in FOMO, they had FOMO issues with you know, in the Slack. Whenever I asked that question,
Hmm.
when you're doing swing trades and you're hypothetically holding a trade for 5 hours, and then you go back to day trading, and the trades happen much quicker, you don't have too much FOMO in the first place. I mean, if you can hold a trade for 5 hours, you can hold a trade for a quick 5 to 10 minutes, which back in the day would sound like such a long time, or it just sound like you're doing this
Yeah.
trading. Oh, I'm gonna miss out the next thing, or I'll miss out the next thing, or this or that. Like it almost defeats everything, and then the anxiety basically goes out of the window, and you don't even
Yeah.
care about missing trades. You're like, well, I see the entire trend's going up, so clearly there's going to be a lot more calls going soon.
Yeah.
Now, there's definitely more,
Yeah.
so it makes it a lot calmer. It
Yeah.
calms the waters a lot.
It definitely does. Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, looking forward to um, talking to you again.
Yeah, I definitely am too. Well, before we wrap up, I mean,
Hmm.
I don't want to get into trades. Like I said, we'll hold off for that until later. But
Okay.
anything you've ever, and I always ask it to everybody, so I'm just asking it to you.
Hmm.
Since I'm here, is there any question you ever wanted to ask me specifically as a person who's been doing pretty well with trading, as the owner of this company, as whoever you want to see it as, I guess? Anything you've ever wanted to ask?
Um. So. Um. So. What inspired you to um, help out, um, produce the course and help everybody? Like produce a course and help.
Just overall get started. It was fun. Well, like most people, it was kind of on accident, honestly, man.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
it
okay.
started as a long time ago. I was doing trading, right? I was getting successful with it.
Hmm.
Ended up making my first 6 figures with trading in a year. And you see how my strategy is. There's a lot of downtime because I don't have to do too much,
Yeah.
thankfully, which is
Hmm.
good and bad, right? Idle mind is
Yeah.
devil's workshop, as they say. So if you're familiar with that. So um, what ended up happening was I ended up going to Facebook and random Facebook groups for day traders and stuff like that, and joined some Facebook groups. I was trying to get with like-minded people, and that was
Hmm.
funny enough. First time me trying to do that, I didn't do it in the beginning, thank
Yeah.
God. And then saw everybody's losing, and I was like, well, damn, I didn't know everyone was that bad. Shit.
Yeah.
So I started posting my trades, and people just basically started asking me questions. And
Yeah.
then you know how things go. People start asking the same questions over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I kind of get annoyed. I'm like, oh, I'll make a video about it. and then asked another question. Oh, okay, I'll make a video. And then someone was like,
And
"Could you
when
talk to
did it
me one on
finally?
one?"
Yeah.
When did it finally what?
And when did it finally click? Like, how long did it take for you to become profitable? And um, well, when did it click? Did it was it a few months, a few years?
For me to become profitable, well, you have to keep in mind that's further back. That would be I started with penny stocks for about
Hmm.
6 months a long time ago,
Okay.
and then that was horrible, and kind of penny stocks for 6 months, and then I went to stock trading for like a month, and then I think the rest of that year I
Hmm.
started trying to make my own strategy based off of a lot of things I
Okay.
kept seeing around,
Yeah.
and then it was I forgot what year this was, but 20 I don't know what year this was, but after that full year, then it was fully okay. Let me make sure my strategy works, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And from me creating the strategy to trading it actively, it took me, I think, about 4 months to become
Oh,
consistent.
wow. Wow.
But that's only because I did the year of all the other stuff
Hmm.
and was losing, right?
Yeah.
So it went from losing with other people's strategy to creating my own, which takes time, as you can imagine,
Yeah.
to then doing all that. So in that essence, a year and basically a year and 3 months, year and 4 months or so,
Yeah.
personally. But I mean, I've known people that have taken longer, but I've known people that
Hmm.
have taken much shorter. I mean, especially the people that have gone through this program, right?
Yeah.
Um, but either way, like let's just say like the worst case scenario I've seen with someone going, I'll give you the best and worst case scenario of someone that's gone through this program. The best
Hmm.
case scenario of someone that's gone through this program and became successful, she came through within the first, I think 25 days. This is when I was the one actively coaching. First 25 days, she got it immediately and just took the ball and ran with it. And in
Wow.
her very first month, I think she made $150,000.
Oh
And
my
then it
God.
only just scaled from there. And she just started killing the heck out of it. That was her.
Oh.
And the quote unquote worst case scenario, and I'm not going to give the name, but this person took 2.2 months, excuse me, 2.2 years, give or take, to actually finally get consistent. And he messed up everything possible that you can think of in the book
Wow.
just for it to actually finally click. And the way I
Hmm.
used to talk to him, I would be like, well, I mean, you guess you messed up everything to know what not to do. So you got it now,
Yeah.
basically. So, and then after that, he started snowballing it. It was his first month. He finally got a little consistent. I
Hmm.
think it was $500. Then the month after that, he made it. It literally it kept doubling, which was astonishing to see. $500. Then the next month, 1,000. Then the next month after,
Wow.
I think it went to three. The next month after that, it went to I think seven instead of six. Went to seven,
Wow.
and it just kind of kept going from there because he knew what not to do. He did all the dang mistakes himself.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that if I look back on myself
Hmm.
and ask myself, how did I make the strategy? It was I messed up everything possible before I could actually make it in the first place.
Yeah. Wow.
Because you got to think about it. I mean, think about my whole strategy. Like
Hmm.
at the very bare bone, basic fundamental of it, no matter how you look at it, you can erase the zones, the lines, and all of it. All it is it comes back down potentially, comes back down in this scenario, and you wait for it to come back up. And then once it's going back up, you're like, hey, it's going up. I'm sure to go for another 2 minutes. and and then
Yeah.
you just continue the trend. It's just following the trend, and
Yeah.
that came from me doing what I love to do with penny stocks, which was called I forgot what it's called, multi-day runners,
Hmm.
which was so stupid of a concept, but it was so genius of a concept to say that you go look at penny stocks back in the day and say find the penny stocks that have been running up for the past 3+ days and make the assumption that it has one more day in it.
Yeah.
Like I shit you not. And I made a bunch of money doing that actually, because usually they're
Uh,
fundamentally based off of news, et cetera, or whatever, heavily, or just spikes from people. And it actually worked. It worked until it didn't, and then that kind of pissed me off. I did other stuff, but yeah, that's basically that story.
uh, that's awesome.
So you
Yeah.
got to mess
You.
up faster.
Yeah. 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 I'm definitely inspired by this session here. I'm definitely gonna I have a family. I can't let them down. So gotta do this. So
You got to do it, man. But you got to actually speak a lot of the words that I know you've heard of.
for sure.
So time to
For
put
sure.
those actions into place and start doing the practicing. mess up faster with fake money. So with the real money, you can mess up less and make more money. Simple as that.
Sure. And what? One more question. What's the best way to be able to read? What resources would you suggest I look at to better read the market? Or how did you read the market? How did you get so good at reading the market?
The answer is the exact same. It's you purely doing the practicing, as
The
annoying as
practice.
it
Okay.
sounds. Yeah,
Gotcha.
because it's everyone sees the market differently, no
Hmm.
matter how you look at it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's if you put the hours in, the days in, the minutes in, the whatever in, and
Mhm.
you start seeing yourself with your own eyes, then you'll start believing whenever the actual live market comes. Because you can read all about it and all the different cool candlesticks and all this junk. But unless you see it enough and put the name to that, it doesn't mean
Mhm.
anything anyway. So
Oh, gotcha.
it's just seeing patterns all the time. Like this is another stupid pattern that I've seen recently. This is a mix between swing trading and day trading that I've been applying. Not saying to do this because you don't have the concept of it, but the basic fundamental of it is that in the past, what is it, 7 plus
Yeah.
trading days, or excuse me, the past 3 days have been going down to a certain degree,
Yeah.
but those seven before then, I noticed a pattern that it was going up on an uptrend, but it kept doing a large, and you might have saw this in the YouTube video, a large dip downward first,
Yeah.
and then it just shoots back up. So I just kept
Yeah.
buying the dip, literally,
On the dip.
and then I
Wow.
made 100K off of that stupid idea.
Yeah, you're a killer.
Like that was it. I swear that was the only thing. I was like, oh, it dipped down. I'm about to go in soon once it starts pulling back up.
Yeah.
And it pulled back up. And it didn't always do that. Sometimes it'll keep dipping, right?
Yeah.
But based off of that and all the data and all the analysis that I had previous from me studying the market myself, I was like, it's going to come back. It's going to work rather than me just hoping.
Yeah. Gotcha. Wow. That's awesome.
So yeah, man. Glad this was helpful. Any last things before we maybe drop off? And we're at 27 minutes out of 30.
Um. Yeah, that was pretty much the last question. Yeah, just looking forward to applying, practice, and then talking to you again. I'm sure that will be a game changer for me to go through my trades with you and uh, get that coaching. Yeah. So
Well, I'm looking
yeah.
forward to it, man. Well, keep me posted, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon, Alfred.
Yep. Appreciate it, and keep the YouTube videos coming.
Oh, I'll try, man. I just need content ideas. Jesus Christ. This is why this, like, part of this video, not all of it, part of this video is going to go on there again. So thanks for your help as well.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Yeah, and also the A plus setups, they don't usually appear. Uh, like how often do the A plus setups appear? Because they usually um, they usually don't appear much. So
If you're looking to become a consistently profitable day trader that makes $10,000 per month, then go ahead and visit mkuniversity.com/info to get started. We provide one-on-one coaching for 2 months, and that way we actually hold your hand and walk you to becoming successful with our specific day trading strategy, which is trading one strategy with one ticker and day trading once per day so you can be successful long term and actually take care of your family. And it doesn't matter where you are, by the way. If you're new to trading or you're an experienced trader already, but you're still just not consistently profitable as a whole, we'll teach you everything from A to Z from the ground up so you can be consistent, so you can be profitable, and more important, you can do the things you want to do, when you want to do them, how you want to do them, and not have to be trading so much. Because the goal when it comes to trading is to get your life back and to get your finances in order so you can do everything you want to do. And by the way, we already have 1,003 video testimonials from people that are already successful using this strategy that you've been learning in this video. So if you want to be the next person, you want to be number 1,004, then go ahead and click the link in the description where it says apply for coaching, and you can go ahead and get started. And now back to the video.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that's hidden in plain sight kind of thing, but
mhm.
it's, I'm happy I made the A plus setup video, but I'm not happy I made the A plus setup video. And I kind of
Mm.
wish I didn't,
Oh,
because
mhm.
if you think about it, that's not in the course, and it's not in the
Yeah.
course for a reason, technically.
Mm.
So if you simply look for only A plus setups, you will be consistently profitable. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
But the follow up piece is that as a human being, are we robotic enough to only and always only do A plus setups? Personally, me, no.
Yeah, it is pretty tough to just do that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's
Yeah.
possible. I've known some like accountants and engineers, like the very tactical, number
Yeah.
focused type people. Like they're just on it. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm kind of technical. I used to come from an IT background, but I mean, not like that, right?
Yeah.
More managerial. But no, there's if you see an A plus setup, definitely take it, right? But if you
Yeah.
see something that looks like it makes sense to you because you've practiced so much, if we go back to the
Mhm.
practice
Yeah.
concept, then take it. And if it works,
Yeah.
great. If it doesn't, that's fine because you felt comfortable getting in it.
Yeah.
The point of the A plus setup is that at the time it was just supposed to help people identify the best type of setups.
Hmm.
Um, and then that'll help you get to consistently profitable.
Yeah.
But in order to get massively profitable long term, you're
Yeah.
going to have to ignore take profit ones and take it at take profit twos as an example,
Yeah.
right? You're going to have to not sell it your stop loss one at the top of the zone, maybe sell at the middle or bottom of the zone being the other stop loss, which increases your risk size, but it is what it is. You're
Yeah.
going to have to enter on the entry candle, but it looks like it's far away from the zone, but you're like, man, it's bounced off of this other zone, the same zone once already perfectly. I know it's going to bounce off of it again. I'm just going to
Hmm.
take the trade. I do
Gotcha.
that all the time.
Uh,
It's normal
Gotcha.
because I've practiced enough that I've seen it enough that I know it's going to work.
Hmm.
And an A plus setup is exactly what I defined in that video and that checklist. But to me, every day has different trades, and every day has its own type of A plus setup that you should identify and potentially try to take specifically for that day. I don't think you should be so robotic that you
Yeah.
only specifically always take this trade unless you're just trying to learn the strategy as a beginner and you want to get used to getting that no muscle in because you need to say no to more trades like
Hmm.
that. The A plus last thing, and I'll shut up.
Yeah. No, you're
the
good.
the to me the A plus setup is really great for a person that over trades.
Yeah. I
Like the
agree there.
person that says, okay, I've talked to some people on calls like this and they'll say, yeah, man, I just can't be profitable no matter what. Like I keep taking more and more trades, but like it's just not working. And I asked, well, how many trades have you taken last month of September? You know, there's about 20 trading days in there. And I specifically say it like that for a reason. And they're like, well, I think I've taken, let me go back and look. And they start counting, they get quiet. Okay, I took 86, I think. Oh, sorry, no,
Oh,
92. I'm like,
wow.
well, you should have said the 86. It's not like it made a difference. And then they'll be like somehow 61% profitable, which is not even like far off.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, man, if you just said no way more and said more yeses to these A plus things and a few less yeses to these C's and D's, but a B is still passing,
Hmm.
a C is still passing, hell, a D is still passing. I was horrible at English in school. I got a D in that dang thing. I passed. I don't care.
Same here.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, people that we need to save our lives, such as doctors, you just know when they graduate that they're a doctor. You don't know that they got a D in X class.
Yeah.
They probably did. Maybe got a C. Maybe you're going for a heart surgery. The damn dude got passed with B's. You don't know.
Wow.
The grade doesn't matter. The money
Yeah.
matters at the end for that and the doctors. So
Definitely. And I noticed that you don't talk about. Do you use volume at all when you're trading or not?
I used to, but I stopped.
Oh, okay.
Which is why it's on the workspace, right?
Hmm.
Visually, because I used to use it years ago. I stopped using it because it was redundant also in the fact that so it's kind of like if the volume candle's up being larger,
Hmm.
then the candle's larger on itself on the 1 minute chart. So I was like, well, what's the difference? It's
Mm.
basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
and if it's and so or sometimes it might be the volume's high just for the overall day period, and the
Hmm.
candles are just moving faster. But that doesn't
Yeah.
change where the zones are, where the ZRCEs are at, and everything else. So I mean, it didn't. It's meant the days going back faster because the candles are larger because they're moving faster. So what they do, that's fine.
Yeah,
So it
makes
didn't.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So really appreciate this. Really appreciate you picking these. So really, yeah, I'm glad I was able to talk to you.